It is 10 minutes after 9 on Wednesday, February the 5th. The House Criminal Justice Subcommittee is now in session. If everyone will please take roll. All right, Mr. Clerk, please take the roll. Thank you very much. Members, before we begin today, our organizational meeting, is there any personal orders? Seeing yes, sir, Leader Lamberth.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We all just want to say, those of us that are returning to this committee, we deeply appreciate your leadership. I know Representative Russell is tickled to be returning to your committee, and we did good work over the last couple of years. And Mr. Chairman, we have confidence that with you at the helm, we'll do good work again this time. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We're going to begin down here on our bottom row and have introductions of everyone on the committee. We've got some new faces this year to the criminal justice world, and have new members of the General Assembly. So we'll start with Representative Salinas, and if you will, introduce yourself, and then we'll continue on.
Hi, everyone. I'm Representative Gabby Salinas. I represent District 96, which is in Shelby, the northern part of Shelby County. And this is my first year in the legislature and my first year on criminal, obviously.
Thank you very much and welcome. Mr. Ashley.
Fred Ashley. I represent the 12th District, Sevier County, about 3/4 of Sevier County.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Rick Scarborough, District 33, which is mostly the makeup of Anderson County.
Chairman Russell.
Represent the Lowell Russell, the 21st District, by far the best district in the state of Tennessee, and it's half of Loudoun County and half of Monroe County.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Andrew Farmer here, represent House District 17. That's portions of Sevier and Jefferson counties. I've logged a lot of time on the Criminal Justice Subcommittee over the years. I was out last 2 years, and I'm just tickled pink to be back to serve with Chairman Doggett. Thank you, sir.
Glad to have you back. Leader Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. William Lambert, Sumner County, portion thereof. Thank you.
Mary Littleton. I serve the 7th District, which is Cheatham and Dixon County. And I'm very glad to be back on criminal. I've not served under Chairman Doggett, but I'm really glad to be here and very glad to be back on criminal justice.
We're glad to have you. I'm Clay Doggett. I serve District 70, Giles, Lawrence, and Lincoln counties. This will be my third term at the helm of this committee, and it is one of the hardest working committees that I promise you that you will work on. We will run late into the session with a lot of heavy substance that we will be working through. And so I want to encourage you to make sure you're very studious on the legislation each week that we'll have before us, because it is going to be some very impactful things that we will work through on this year. So we are going to go through the rules today. Then we will have a vote, a mock vote to make sure that our system is working. And so I'm going to go over a few things here. Bills must be filed on, or must be put on notice by 3:30 p.m. on Wednesday before the next scheduled meeting. Bills must be put on notice to the House portal. Paper notices are not accepted. Committee amendment deadlines are for our committee. It's going to be Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Verbal amendments and amendments filed after the deadline shall not be considered. Amendments can only be submitted by email and must come from the email address or the member or their assistant. Witness cards. A request to testify in committee must be submitted to the chairman, That is my office, our office, at least 24 hours prior to the scheduled meeting time. Witness cards can be submitted through the legislative website or filled out in person prior to the start of the meeting. The submission of a witness card is not a guarantee that that person will be allowed to speak, and the testimony of witnesses is subject to time and other limitations. I will say that if you're going to have someone to testify that may require some special accommodations, please include that with the submission when you do so. And also members of this committee or any member that may be presenting a bill that is watching this, make sure that if you have someone that you want to testify, that you make sure that they get that testimony card submitted. As far as materials go, handouts or things of that nature, paper will not be distributed to the members of the committee. The materials must be provided to our staff electronically prior to the meeting so that any of that information can be emailed or disseminated to other members or even added onto the dashboard program that we have on our laptops. Any questions from the members? Oh, yes. Amendments will only be accepted by the bill sponsor or by a committee member as well. So any questions? Anything I might have left out? Let me look through my notes here. Oh, yes. Yes, sir.
Possibly get a copy of those instructions.
Yes, sir. We will get those emailed to you.
Thank you, sir.
They will be emailed to you this week. Also, just for the record, if we do not complete our calendar, which is a fairly common thing, those bills, everything on that calendar will be rolled to the next week. It will not count against you as a bill sponsor. It doesn't mean that it goes away if we're not able to take that up. It is going to be rolled to the next week. Any other questions? All right, we are going to take a sample vote here just to test our system. So you'll notice in front of you, you've got the screen, the yes, the no, and the present not voting. If you will, go ahead and cast a vote. All right, Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 4 ayes and 4 nays.
The bill fails. So a new feature that we're having this year is here on the board, so that's going to be something good for us. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back in here next week. We will have a calendar next week. And so when we come in here, let's be prepared to get to work. I've already got, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
I just had a brief question so are all votes roll call votes, or do you need 3 people to request a roll call vote?
That is a very good question. So all final action votes will be taken on a roll call vote. If we are voting on an amendment or on previous question, that can be a voice vote. If there is an objection to the voice vote, 3 members may raise their hand, and that vote itself will be on the board.
Okay.
But the final action, if we are to move it up or down or to a final destination, then the final action will be on the board.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Great question. Yes, we're going to have committee next week. We're going to have a calendar. I was hoping possibly, depending on the number of bills that we have in here, we may have a presentation after the completion of those bills next week. I was hoping to use this time today to introduce the committee to some of the regulars that we have from some of the departments. However, a lot of those departments and players are not here today, so we will pass, or we could go out of session and hear from the Department of Safety. Objected. All right. Anything else, ladies and gentlemen? I appreciate you coming in here this morning at 9:10 for a 10-minute committee meeting, but we just get this out of the way and we'll be ready to hit the ground running next week. Anything else? If not, we will be adjourned.